Does, man. Shows you comfort.
Exactly. We live.
Alright, alright, welcome everybody to the AEW recap show with Mob Ties Wrestling. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you go on YouTube and subscribe, give us a like on this video. Really help us out a lot, and we really would appreciate it. Um, so let's start off. John Moxley promo backstage opens up the show, and I had no idea that he was going to come out right after, which is what happened. And so we'll go into John Moxley versus Shibata. I thought it was a great grappling match there, back and forth, and uh, also the chop exchanges were pretty gruesome at the beginning. So um, Mox puts Shibata in a sleeper and chokes him out, and Mox ends up winning the match. You got any thoughts on the match, bro?
Um, Big fan of Shibata. Um, I like how they some people don't like how they kind of dive right into the matches. I don't mind it, especially with the Death Riders promo right before the match,
The
and then what they did after. But the match, I mean, I had no problem with it. I knew it was gonna be a hard hitting wrestling match. Shibata and Mox,
Yeah,
they
this was fun, man.
yeah.
I like watching grappling matches like that
Yeah,
every now and then.
it was a fun match, and when it comes to, New Japan wrestlers, like, Shibata is probably easily my number 1.
Yeah.
Like, out of all of them, like, if I was the list, he's probably my favorite overall,
Don't they
easily.
call him the wrestler or the best
Yeah,
wrestler or something like that?
that's
Yeah.
why I like him. He has, he has one of the more believable styles in wrestling, and I like that about him.
Right. Yeah. Real kind of technical or can get technical, but it's mostly grappling.
Hard
So
hitting too.
yeah, hard
I
hitting.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
Um. So Mox tries to leave after the match, and that's when the Bucks music plays. And boy, this opening was straight fire, bro. Like
Yeah.
holy heck, man. So they Young Bucks come out and start speaking about being teaming up with the Death Riders. Then Kenny Omega music hits and confronts uh, the Young Bucks and compares them to shit from a Shih Tzu dog, which I thought was hilarious. And then as Kenny approaches to the ring, Okada's music hits. Man, this reminded me of some old school, like early 2000s stuff, man, and 90s when different wrestlers' music just hits and they're coming out.
Yeah.
And then Swerve's music hits when Okada's on the way to the ring, and of course Swerve comes from behind. And you got any thoughts about that?
Um, I mean, what a way to build anticipation. I know they got a
Yeah,
lot going on right now.
yeah.
Um,
Just one thing. I was telling you that I think the Young Bucks should open the match, so or open the
oh yeah, no,
uh,
yeah,
in which they kind of did. So I'm so
yeah,
happy
no.
they did. I was
When
like,
they,
I didn't want to miss the Young Bucks earlier. So
I
yeah.
tagged you in the stream, so if you want to share it,
Oh sure.
but
Yep.
yeah, I was kind of bummed out when they didn't come out at first, even though they ended
Yeah.
up coming out kind of first. But
Yeah.
when they didn't come out and they went into a match, I was like, oh, I hope they just don't skip a week or don't do much today. So I think it played out perfect. I do believe they was lying their asses off,
Yeah.
but I liked I liked what happened. I liked how they built it up, and I do like how Swerve ended it, and it kind of rolled right into the next match. I think that was dope.
Yeah. They started right with Pac and Swerve Strickland.
Yeah,
Which very shortly in the match seems like how Pac got injured.
yeah,
I guess so he was grabbing his ankle, but it looked like he mouthed the word shoulder to the ref. I don't know if he got that or not, but so I'm not sure exactly if it's his ankle or whatever. It's nothing really confirmed yet. It's just confirmed that he was injured. I mean, it was
yeah.
obvious that he was. So yeah,
What I'm listed everything. I just shared that to the group chats. Honestly, what I seen, like just what I noticed, I know that there was something they did something near the ropes, and it was a spot where um it didn't have nothing to do with his leg, but when he like laid down, I seen him grab his ankle, you know? So right there, I was like, all right, could
Yeah.
be faking, but it just didn't make sense when he grabbed it right there for it to be, a selling point because it had nothing to do with what just happened, right? Um, and then, he came back and hobbled a little bit, and you could see they ended the match short. Think
Yeah.
that's why they talked.
Swerve he Pac rolled in and Swerve kicked him right in the face, and
Yeah, yeah.
then he hit his finisher. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so I didn't see exactly what happened, but I definitely noticed something went wrong for sure.
yeah, sweet. Yeah, not
Fortunate
I
because I
sent out the I shared my post, but uh, yeah, I knew like right away something was wrong. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, and
And
I mean, commentary even said like, guys, this is actual injury, and then of course you got everybody on social media saying it, but I already knew right when he was how the match stopped, like kind of right in the middle, and the ref was talking to him and stuff, and you could see the pain on his face too, like
it
when he
sucks.
yeah
The one thing that I and I hate to even think like this, right? But the thing is this, that looked like it was fin to be pretty much a squash match, right?
yeah
So like, it kind of
basically
looked like they wanted Swerve to get a powerful win after, what obviously what just
after a
happened, which
loss.
I get
Yeah.
that. Um, I just don't know why they would do that to Pac. Like, I don't think he's a guy that should happen to. But the thing, what I was gonna say that I didn't want to think like that is, sometimes when and don't get me wrong, because he's a seller. You see, he takes moves crazy. That's also another
Yeah.
reason why he gets hurt. But you almost wonder if him you know, the mind state of going in there and getting squashed, not being mad. I'm not saying that like he's like a problem, but just that
Yeah.
mindset, like why? You know what I'm saying? Just the fact of that being in your head maybe could cause you a slip up here and there to maybe injure yourself. Because I don't think
Yeah.
he should have been in that
I could
position.
yeah, I really couldn't pinpoint the exact moment it happened.
I didn't
It's
see it
just like
either.
he rolled out of the ring and then he was grabbing his ankle. So,
Yeah, he
uh,
he took a move and he looked like he was fine, and then when he was laying flat, he reached for his leg. Like, I don't see how it happened at that point. That's why I was thinking maybe like Swerve might have stepped on his foot or something. I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah, but
I hope it didn't break like that. I mean, I hope it didn't break at all, but it's just
and then
like
that's
getting
another thing
stepped on.
because Swerve
Yeah,
was playing aggressive. They wanted him to be aggressive tonight.
yeah.
I hope it wasn't just like a mistake where he might have
Ah,
stepped on his foot. That
it was nobody's fault probably.
No, no, I'm
No,
not saying
yeah,
somebody's fault. It's
no,
listen. What people gotta understand is, and I see people complain about this all the time, right?
yeah,
It's wrestling.
yep,
Injuries happen every show. No,
yep.
there's probably no show that happens where somebody doesn't get hurt.
In some type of way, yeah,
Yeah, and most of these injuries are freak accidents. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's not like, nobody's ever well, there's been wrestlers over the years, so let me say not nobody, but
yeah.
no wrestlers that I see wrestling right now look like they're out there, actually trying to hurt people, So the accidents happen. But
Nah,
it's
just
just
Darby Allin and hurting himself.
well, hurting yourself is
It's a
like a
lot. It's
wrestler's fetish. There's a lot of wrestlers that like doing that. But it's
weird.
also a big difference between hurting yourself and hurting other people. You think about it.
John Moxley's one of those too,
Hmm.
but he's cool when he
Yeah,
does it.
exactly.
Yeah,
Moxley doesn't look like he hurts nobody, but he sure as hell loves hurting himself. And I
yeah.
mean injury
That's
wise, like he definitely in the context of wrestling, he hurts people. Not the
yeah,
syndicate level, but he hurts
we
people.
hurt people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait till we start talking about the Hurt Syndicate,
Oh,
man. I
I
can't wait
love
till we
that.
get there.
Yeah, I love the
That was
hurts.
awesome tonight. So let's move on. We got Ricochet, Team Ricochet backstage, cutting a promo saying they're gonna win, and then you got Team Osprey cutting a promo too.
Yeah,
Him and Mark Briscoe going off, saying that they're gonna win.
yeah,
And but right after that was a video package for the Owen Hart tournament on the women's side, plus the men's. And then right after that, I don't know if you want to touch up on anything with the tournament or right this yet, the
um,
second, or wait until after that one match, maybe.
it's up to you. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't care. We
I
could
think we can
touch
get to it when we get to that match.
Yep.
Um, so Renee catches up with Hangman, and then Hangman runs to Swerve's locker room where it's just Prince Nana standing there, and Hangman Adam Page was saying that he wasn't looking out for Swerve at all. He just wanted to make that clear. Then Prince Nana tried to say something like
You want
he
apologize.
wanted to tell Hangman something that he's always wanted to say, but
Yeah.
Hangman cut him off too soon. So
Yeah.
yeah, what'd you think about that, bro?
Um. Well, on two of them before I got a bit more to say about that one. So 1 second before that, Briscoe's great. Got to make sure I always throw that in there. His promos are
Yeah,
legendary at this point. Um,
always.
that team had the most hilarious ideas of what they was gonna do with their money. I just want to touch on that.
You
Bailey's
go.
gonna buy some sneakers, some shoes. um,
Doesn't even wear shoes.
yeah, I know. Knight said he's going to Magic City, bro.
Damn.
Yo,
But
yeah, so that I loved what they did with that. Um, Now Renee and Hanger, listen. Remember I said with the Bucks, I don't believe them. I believe that they're working with Moxley. I think they kind of
yeah,
told us today when they said when they started explaining what they have in common.
right.
It was telling you
Yeah,
why they're together. I think
I
they
thought
told
that since the very beginning,
Yeah, I
and
think they told you the 3 reasons why they're together, and just
yeah,
you can believe it if you're not, or later they'll tell you, "I told you," you know?
yeah,
Um, but Hanger, I believe everything he says. He's like, I know that's your favorite, but he's probably I'd say him and Swerve gotta be the top 2 most believable people in AEW right now when it comes to storytelling.
oh yeah,
And that's and you got them together. That's one of the things I think people don't realize. For you to have a perfect story, you obviously do need that. First of all, right now you're probably not having a perfect story in this era. It's just different, right? Because you can't make every fan happy in this era.
oh
Before,
no, definitely not. I learned that the hard way today.
yeah,
I
so
got called a liar for a wrestling opinion on
yeah,
X
like
today. So uh,
before the internet and all that, like you kind of could do a perfect story because you
yeah,
didn't have all the people complaining that didn't like the story.
right,
No one knew about it. Everybody just loved the story, right?
yeah,
Um, but if you have a perfect story, you need to have good booking. But the most I think important component for me when doing stories, no matter what you write and all that, is the wrestlers that are doing the stories.
yeah,
Some of them don't mesh. Some of them can't work with each other when it comes to promo work.
yeah.
Um,
Swerve and Hangman though can,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's like and don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing them to like all-time legend Jet, even though I believe they'll get there. But
yeah,
that has like like Rock Austin vibes, or like one of those like you could carry, or Stone Cold versus whoever, you can carry that feud off and on for years. Like
right.
even if they, God forbid, 10 years from now they're in different companies, people will want to see them wrestle each other again
Oh yeah,
because will
they're
always
gonna remember this. Yeah,
and
everybody still talks about the house being burnt down.
yes, and
Yeah,
I do like that the touch of there's just even with Nana trying to apologize, the realism in that room is just different and on another level.
it's the energy, aura, whatever you say. It's
Yeah.
yeah, you can feel it.
Like
Yeah,
Swerve's
you're
not
right.
even in
Yeah,
that room right there, and you could just feel that like the tension,
yeah,
like they make you believe there's real tension in the room. You could cut that tension, right?
yeah,
So I think honestly, what them two is doing, everything is gold. And I believe he didn't want to help Swerve, or he at
yeah,
least believes that during his character, right? The
yeah.
Bucks, I think they're flat out lying. They're not trying to help Hangman. They're
No,
gonna,
not at all.
yeah, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I
Loved
think
it.
I
I
think
think that's
Swerve and Hangman are gonna team up.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, clear as day now. I think, but yeah,
If I was ranking promos, that'd probably be as high as a promo as you could get with Hangman.
yeah, that was pretty great. Man, this overall episode was just fantastic, man. It was one of the best dynamites I think I've seen all year. Um, So, all right. So now we move on to the $400,000 match.
Yeah,
Got Team Ricochet versus Team Osprey. Uh, I was very impressed with Mike Bailey again, doing all his kicks and flips and all that. And hey, I really enjoy his work in the ring. I don't. I just it's like real exciting to me to watch him.
and we know
I think
he's not
it's.
injured now, so he's a great seller. Everybody at the pay-per-view thought he
Oh
was
yeah,
great.
yeah, right. That. Yeah, yeah. He did sell that pretty well. I think I kind of knew he was selling it though. I didn't think he was really injured.
Yeah,
I guess some people did, but
I didn't think so neither, but I seen a lot like, tonight when you seen Pac go down, you could tell it
yeah,
altered the match, like,
right.
Bailey
It
kept
stopped.
going. Yeah,
Stopped the whole match like right in the middle. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, and then Team Osprey wins. They get the victory, so they
yeah,
get the $400,000. Impressed with Kevin Knight as well. Like
yeah,
always,
sure.
he's gonna be a good, like big, like star. I think so. You got any opinions on that one?
Um, no, I know this ain't the first time they've done a, money match, like, per se. I know there was,
Yeah,
like, I think maybe,
the
like, 100,
trios.
there was a
Uh,
few of them, right?
$300,000 for trios or so. Yeah,
Yeah,
because the team of three would win it. Yeah,
I like the concept, right? And
yeah,
remember how we was talking about before that, they need to come up, like, some different concepts that are their ideas.
yeah,
I like that concept because, like, the all in, all out vibe, right? So it's, like,
yeah.
kinda
The
plays along
money.
that line, but I
Yeah.
think they need to add to it somehow. You know
Like
what I'm saying?
add a stipulation to it or something,
Yeah,
maybe.
or, like, 400, like, maybe it's a $400,000 check that you or something you buy that could go money you get that could go towards something, or maybe it's some type of ladder match where,
Yeah, I was
take
thinking
some
that.
money, or, like, just some sort of stipulation where, cause that's something that could be yours.
They could do the real Money in the Bank. Bro.
See
Actually
what
have money in a briefcase,
See
that'd
what
be
I'm trying to
sick.
tell you?
Yeah.
Um, so, like, I just think they need to, harness it a little bit more and add to it to make it more of a match. Because I do like the concept. It's just right now, it kinda doesn't seem like a finished product with the concept,
Yeah,
because
they could add something to it. They
yeah.
easily could. But it's still, I think, entertaining
Oh,
regardless though.
great
Yeah.
concept. It's
Yeah.
a great concept.
Yeah.
Especially when
I
you're
mean,
asking them what they're gonna do with the money. That
yeah.
already just made it better than the last time you did it,
Heck
you
yeah.
know?
What did
So
Mark do you remember what Mark Briscoe said that he was wanting to do?
oh, yeah, he said he's gonna upgrade his portfolio. He said
Oh,
something
yeah.
super smart, and they said, "But that's beside the point." Like, see,
That's
that's the crazy thing. He just always knows what to say. Like, y'all all said something outlandish. Now the
yeah.
crazy guy said something super smart.
But it's funny.
I love Briscoe, man.
Me too,
Moving up my ranks crazy.
for sure. Um, so after that match, they did the FTR heel turn replay. They
Mhm.
replayed what happened at Dynasty with Edge, and I just want to make everything clear that Copeland is not really injured. It's story
Yeah,
wise injured, yeah.
yeah,
Because they shot to the commentary team. Tony Schiavone was talking about it, and Tony Schiavone was like, "He's out indefinitely, but he's going to show up some point." So it's all story.
for sure. What one thing, not to detour, because I'll probably forget this if I don't say it now. Um, did you notice? I don't know if this is just it came off different. Tony Schiavone out there trying to get dapper today, huh? He had his little AEW suit, his hair slicked back. I don't like they just there for some reason they just and I know Taz always kind of dressed professional and stuff, but they just look like they got more professional. Like go
uh,
back and look at it. It's like
well,
I feel
Taz
like
came out in athletic wear last week.
yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean. And I know that Tony Schiavone, he's all you know what Tony is.
yeah,
He just comes out cool, collective, wearing
right.
whatever he wants, right? But it looks like they all had the suits on today. Tony
Yeah,
had the AEW patch on the suit. Yep,
I think they
like
did a really good job tonight too, as
I
well.
think they did. It just seemed
Yeah,
more professional for some reason, which
yeah.
is crazy to say. But
Because they showed them more. They
yeah,
need to start showing them more when they're speaking.
yep, yes
And I
they
think that's what's been the problem is the camera hasn't focused in on them sometimes when they're speaking, and they should do that a little bit more, I think.
I
Yeah,
agree. I
yeah.
agree.
Show our announcers when they're talking, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's from time to time,
Let me
because 'cause
know. Let me know who's
I've seen
talking.
whole matches where they don't show them at all.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
uh,
that's also too like I don't know why there's a narrative that their commentators are bad because that's far from the truth. But I think what it is like you said, a little bit more advancement in them, like show them a little bit more.
yeah,
Um, I think you got a good announce team.
yeah.
I don't see what the problem
And
would be with that.
everybody that I've ever heard of on a commentary table messes up. Even in the NFL, you hear it all the time. You
Bro,
get mess
listen,
ups. Yeah.
look, my favorite show to watch on Sundays when the Rams ain't on, right, is
What?
Red Zone. Bro, I love Scott Hansen, and he just got a big deal to be like the voice of something else, right?
Hmm.
Nobody messes up in sports more than that guy, and he does the biggest day of the week. Like names
Yeah.
he's saying wrong, teams he's saying wrong,
Mm.
all over the place. Like, but he has like so much going on, and he's watching and talking about every game. It's like, who cares? Like, you think he don't know, or do you think he messed up?
Yeah.
That's
He just messed up. It's
yeah,
not that
that's
he
it.
didn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he's going through so much. That's it. So
Taz
he's
has been doing this forever. Siobhan's been doing it forever, and Excalibur's been doing it for a long time as well. They're
yeah,
all veterans, I think. So
yeah. When
yeah,
you're doing something live, you're gonna have mistakes.
yeah,
It's gonna happen. Bottom
we've
line.
done it before.
Yeah, it would do it again. doesn't
Exactly.
doesn't doesn't matter. What did you think about oh, the next thing is actually, oh, we're at the good part. You ready?
Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what did you think before we dive right into it, what did you actually think about the match? Like, do you have a favorite point or anything?
Which match?
The match before it. Because I just wanted to bring up one more point about the
Oh, the
foreign.
$400,000 match.
Yeah.
No, I think I said everything I wanted to.
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
thing I wanted to say is you seen the reverse frog splash today?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that
That's
was good.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was telling you about.
that's a that's a risky move, man. If I ever seen one,
Yeah,
but
you
he
got
hit it.
yeah, you gotta be athletic. When you start
Yeah.
jumping and turning in the air while doing other things, this you gotta yeah, he's gonna be well, he is special, but he's definitely gonna wear gold sometime soon in the future.
Oh yeah. Hopefully. I wonder how long his contract is too. Maybe they can wait it out, build him up a little while. You know.
I'm gonna take a guess, and just without no facts, I think any of these younger dudes, like younger talented people, like say Bailey, or even Alexander, which is a little bit older, but or Knight. I mean, you would have to think he locked them all in for at least 4-year deals. Because he's
Oh yeah,
like
maybe.
yeah, like it. Because think of it like this: if they're hiring, and not all of them did this, but like say like an Alexander, when you hire a big agent and you're coming over and someone's gonna pay big money, I don't know if it makes sense for them to pay big money for 2 years
Yeah,
because
right.
by the time
What
they
would
get
you get out of it? Yeah.
yeah, by the time you get the ball rolling, they could be walking out the door after you just spent that big money.
Right.
So I mean, I would guess at least 4 years, maybe not though. But if you look at that match with Osprey and them, if you notice at the end of the match, um, if you see the way like Osprey puts his arm around Bailey with one arm and Knight around the other arm, he's kind of talking to them. He's a big factor of why these kids are going there. Like,
Oh, Will
it's
Ospreay. Yeah.
yeah, like you could just see it why he probably wanted him to come, offered to do the match, wanted to do the pay-per-view, So I think that he's probably what Cody used to be. He's probably their best recruiter right now when it comes to I mean,
The new
especially
recruiter.
yeah, like when it comes to especially when
Yeah.
you get international. I mean, there's probably, on an international market, not many bigger names bigger than Will Ospreay in
No,
certain
but there's a
areas,
lot of names though. Not as big, but there's a
Yeah.
lot of 'em. Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot. But
Yeah.
what I mean though is if you're young in New Japan and you came up in the era where like Osprey's one of your guys that you grew up watching, and he's telling you come over here with me, I mean that's kind of the the one thing, or and not just saying because Kenny Omega similar type thing. I just think Osprey's more facing it right now.
Mhm.
But the thing is, say someone wants to go to WWE, which there's some people, no matter what they do with their career, their goal is to be there. And I get that. There's not a problem with that. Like if you're a lifelong fan of something,
Mm,
you want it's like
yeah,
me wanting to play for my favorite sports team. Of
yeah.
course you want to do that. I
Of
get
course,
it.
you wanna get in the NFL, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing is though, for the ones that maybe don't have a full-fledged WWE dream, they just, enjoyed wrestling or became fans of like Osprey or Omega or specific type of guys,
Yeah.
that's where the recruiting I think comes in.
Well,
Like,
they can also look at the past and see how guys of certain sizes have been treated in the past, and that might
but
still be true today, like,
I I know, but
you
I
know?
just think I think the people that want to go there know that and don't care though. Think they either
Right.
think they
Some
could get
people do, yeah.
think they could get past it, or they just don't care. They just want to know they made it there, and then sometimes they leave and they do great things after, but they still want that under their belt. And I get that.
Yeah.
I
Who do you
mean,
think will be the first one back from WWE that was in AEW, like, right now from WWE back in AEW? Who would be the first?
all right.
Like, you got Ethan, Ricky, Andrade,
I
it's
think you just named my pick.
Andrade? Yeah, I can see him going back.
It's a few different reasons. I think he was a little bit rumor wise. I think there was kind of seemed like maybe he was a little bit of a problem in the beginning. But if you
Mhm.
notice towards the end of AEW, it was the end of his run. He did the tournaments. He took
Yeah.
pins.
He
Um,
got a good last match too.
yeah, and then he also the last week before he signed, I have a funny feeling some of the money that would have been sent to him got sent to the Mercedes contract, which is probably what ironed out that deal if you look at the time frame.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, but like it's like I'm gonna let him leave. I'm gonna take that extra money, get her to sign the contract. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But if you look at his post, his last week at AEW, he said that he reached out to Tony Khan and said he's willing to stay if they match the offer or go up higher. But Tony
Mm,
didn't even put an offer on the table. So
maybe that's why Mercedes.
yeah,
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just no sources. I just say figuratively speaking, if you want to spend $5 million right now for 1 year, right? Each year. And say you was at 3.5 with her and you didn't want to go higher,
Mhm.
but you could dump that contract and take 1.5 out of it, and it's not anything because you was already kind of willing to spend it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like you see
Yeah.
what
Who
I'm
you
saying?
gonna pick? Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, you're gonna pick Mercedes,
and I think it
but
was. I don't think that he just didn't want Andrade. I think that how it started in the beginning probably led to decisions being made to probably not wanting to go crazy and get in that situation again. But
he
I
went right back to what he was doing though.
yeah, but I
And you
think
can't
that
lie like that. That's not a lie. I mean, that's fact. Like you haven't seen him on TV or anything, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the thing too is he also him and Charlotte's going through a divorce. Or
Right. Yeah.
say so. I'd say the reasons he wanted to go back there are gone now. Like
Yeah.
your
Oh yeah.
wife is there. That's no longer a thing. Not saying you can't fix it. I honestly like them as a couple. I hope they do fix it, right? But you don't got that going, and you're not being pushed like you thought you was being pushed.
Right.
So now, when you're looking at both the options, I don't know if this would have been his guaranteed run to option had these been the circumstances when his contract was up. You know, so I would say it's got to be Andrade.
Yeah. First out of everybody, I think.
The second one that I would say, and I just throw a easy one out there that I think could happen. Um, maybe Pillman if it
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
work out. I
Yeah.
mean, I think a lot of the other guys is gonna be there for a while. I
Yeah.
I but you could also go with Sean Spears, but he got a lot of family over there where I don't think he's probably bring his wife over there soon versus him leaving anytime soon. I think he's
Who's
older.
his wife?
Um, oh, what is that? What is her name? Cassie,
Shoot,
maybe? She used to be part of that women's tag team in WWE.
Cassie.
Cassie Lee, maybe is that her name?
I don't know.
I would have to pull it up. But they,
I That's probably during a time I didn't watch then.
no, that wasn't her wrestling name. Her wrestling name was something different.
Oh,
I think that's her real name.
huh.
1 second. Let me see. I'll pull it up. I don't want to be thinking about that the whole show. Hold on.
You get your batteries in your smoke detector, bro.
Oh nah, that ain't the smoke detector.
What is it?
It's a carbon monoxide one, and I changed the batteries 3 times.
Is it still going off, huh?
It's
Uh,
still going off, but there's
yeah.
nothing in my house, no carbon. I don't know what it is, man. Like I changed the batteries, it won't go off, and then like maybe like a day later, it would start doing it again. But
Yeah.
at the same time, in case there ever was a carbon monoxide leak, it's like I don't want to just pull it off. Like they're supposed to come check it. We'll see how it goes though. Yeah, her name's Cass. Oh, she used to be Peyton Royce in WWE.
Oh, okay. I know who that is. Yeah.
Yeah, she was in that tag team. Just can't remember the tag team. Iconics, the Iconics. That's who it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. All right, bro. Let's go to the Hurt Syndicate. Come out to the ring,
Let's do it.
posing up for a celebration. They pour up some drinks. They set their titles on a table. They're cheering, and
Yeah,
then, of course, right on cue, MJF's music hits. And
yeah,
I start laughing my ass off from there because this guy's funny as hell.
yeah,
As
he
soon
got
as
some
I heard
balls.
his music, I was like, like I don't laugh like that, but I was just laughing.
Yeah, he
But
got balls to run down on him by himself.
yeah, and just stood next to him
Yeah, yo, yo,
and
that's
said, "We hurt people."
yo, he's a trip, man.
Dude, Shelton couldn't hold it together, man. Shelton Benjamin was laughing too.
Yeah, yeah, he was. That's why at the end of the night he said, "Yeah," he said, "I ain't gonna lie, man. He is funny."
Yeah, I think that's a good thing they came back and did that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it is.
yeah. But then MJF gets rejected again, so I
Yeah,
feel like Shelton will be the first one to break, obviously, and to get him on board. I do think they're going to be together for just a little bit.
yeah.
So
I think they will make a business arrangement or understanding. Um, I don't think they'll actually ever be together, but I do think that they'll form some type of union for a little bit.
yeah,
I'm interested also to see where it goes. I think somehow this will lead to maybe Cedric coming over, or even just a new member joining the Hurt Business at probably at MJF's expense eventually. But I do think he'll run with them for a little bit.
yeah, for sure. That's yeah. Just we know they're probably going to eventually turn on MJF for MJF doing something scumbaggy. So
For
you
sure.
know, yeah.
Yep.
Um, the segment was hilarious. I really like the Hurt Syndicate and the MJF stuff going
Yeah.
on. That's really watchable TV for me. So
Yeah. It's I mean
entertainment right there. Yeah,
huge miss for WWE. That's
yeah.
that's what that is.
You,
Like I don't understand.
you had an opportunity to do this and you could and you didn't. Like
Like
that's crazy.
I, I don't know. Like for anybody and for the people that said they don't want to see them back together, like I want to see this. I didn't want to miss this. Like I kind of like I feel like most of the world knew that they would have been an amazing group had you kept the course going.
And to
Maybe
me, they seem a lot cooler now. Uh, that
no,
might
they
just be
do.
me,
No,
but don't they?
it's because
Yeah,
the script went out the window, and I think that they're actually being more of who they are.
yeah.
MVP is pushing the buttons a little bit more. You know, what I'm saying kind of
Oh yeah,
a little bit
yeah.
more. Um,
He don't play around on the
so
mic at all.
he's crazy. And yeah, it's just Benjamin. one thing that, and it's funny you say that. I always thought Benjamin was a great wrestler with no personality. It's just clearly they never let him use it because
Yeah.
now, I mean, seems like he has a lot of
Mm.
personality. Kind of just seemed bland before.
The only thing I really remember from Shelton Benjamin back in the day was Mama Benjamin. That was the funniest stuff ever. You remember that? That's like when I think of Shelton Benjamin, I think of those segments back
When I
early
think that
days.
for some reason, I just think of the Kurt Angle, the little
Oh, Team Angle.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's just, and I just always looked at him like a amazing wrestler, just don't like didn't really do much as far as character development at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes just kind of came off as like a collegiate wrestler, you know.
Right.
And you need a little bit more. Like you see what Gable's doing, he's doing good things. I think
Yeah.
Benjamin's showing you had he had the opportunity,
That's what he could do.
yeah,
Yeah.
he
He's still in and out of that ring. Like he's still in good shape, man.
doesn't look like
Phenomenal.
yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't look like he lost a step.
Uh-uh.
I thought honestly, a couple of years ago when I was watching him, I thought he did lose a step, but clearly he just was going at a slower pace for whatever reason. No,
Yeah. Probably
yeah,
told to
he-
do that. Yeah.
yeah, because he's back on 100 right now. He doesn't look like
Yeah.
he lost anything.
Mm.
It
How he
actually
moves and everything. Yeah, he still
like
got it.
it looks like he's getting better right now. Like he
Yeah,
got unleashed and got comfortable. So
for sure.
he's, he's all right.
Um. All right, then Renee backstage with Penelope and Megan Bain. And
Give
Megan
him
Bain
all
looked
the
up.
gold.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Give her some gold at least.
Give him all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then oh, Megan Bain just kind of doubling down, like
yeah,
sh she doesn't feel like she lost. Like she still feels like she's unbeatable,
yeah,
which that was good to see. I like that.
yeah,
Make her look strong after getting pinned,
yeah,
especially a roll up pin. So she didn't really lose, in my opinion, either.
yeah.
So she just got pinned.
I feel like Penelope quoted like what we said the other day, almost word for word, that this
Give
loss
her all the gold.
nothing for her. It didn't do anything to her. She's still like Megan Bain's still dominant. She's still going maul women. Doesn't matter that she lost. Remember we were saying it just kind of
Yeah.
seemed like she could just afford to lose, especially in a roll up, you know.
Yeah.
So
All right.
those, and another thing too.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't want to always throw little jabs at the podcasters, but remember, we got to point out when you say things and when it changes, you don't bring it back up, right?
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So I want to say at least 3 or 4 podcasters, big ones, was saying how AEW's women don't present themselves right. They don't come out, and I
How?
told them, look, because and remember they were saying that about Kenny Omega and that before too. Why are they wearing white tees? They're not dressing like stars. The women look like they're just dressed too regular, right?
Those are those are dweebs, bro.
No, no, but
Yeah.
these the big podcasts though. These the ones that have unbiased takes but get money in their pockets, right?
Yeah.
So, but bottom line is, now that all the women are coming dressed like stars, you ain't bringing up that one of them has this on and now it just went silent.
Yeah.
Cause now you see it's like you can only when they find something they could drag on, they'll find one thing here or there. But when it changes, they never admit that it changes. That's one of the things that bothers me. Like if I say I don't like something and you did something to make me like it, I all right, so you changed my opinion. I'll be honest, right? I won't just say I don't like something and forget about it when it gets good. You gotta
Yeah,
just
just bring it back up and be or say something about it.
yeah, because if
Yeah.
you want someone to change something and they
Yeah.
do,
They're just gonna
acknowledge
move on to the next negative thing and talk about that.
yeah,
They're not gonna bring up their mistakes ever.
exactly. Instead of
Yeah.
acknowledging things that are changing and getting better, you
Yeah.
you find something new you don't like.
Yeah.
Like the other day, what was it? The referees? People was complaining about refing. Come on, that's what you had to hang your head on, referees.
I mean, it's getting to a point where they're just nitpicking at this point, bro.
Yeah, it's it's
Yeah.
it's really
My
ridiculous.
post really got under the skin under some people today, and But in my honest opinion, I do think the Young Buck story and the Death Rider story is better than the John Cena heel turn.
Yeah,
John
and
Cena heel turn doesn't have much story to it.
it's but
So,
what it has is a big
but
nostalgia to it.
I get called a liar.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
'cause what it is, I one of them is halfway through the movie, or even say 60, 70% way through the movie, and we don't know the ending to actually, accurately judge it. Because you don't know the movie to the end, right?
yeah,
Um, the Cena situation doesn't have a story, but it does
no,
have a big nostalgia effect that Cena turned heel.
right.
Because most people for the past,
But
yeah.
I am not wrong for
Oh
thinking, in
no,
my
no,
opinion, that
no.
that this storyline is better than that storyline.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
see the thing with me, I'm not into the Cena storyline. It's like it hasn't been much of a storyline.
right. There, it's what we got, or I saw a clip of it. It's like he's mad because fans booed him 4 years ago. Isn't that something along the lines of what it was?
I honestly I don't know. All I know is this, right? The The Rock comes out, he wants Cody to sell his soul, right? And we'll get on this quick and get right back to the AEW. He wants him to sell his soul.
Yeah.
Um, or give him his soul, whatever. He doesn't. Cena does. Now, they didn't give us why that happened. They didn't, and maybe they'll get there, but they didn't. Why is Rock and Cena with each other? You know what I'm saying? Then um Cena cut a heel promo. Then they had like a battle exchange, promo. But there's no story. There is
No,
no story. Like the story, I mean, you're gonna like I guess the story would be if you know what Rock told Cena to got him to do that, but it doesn't look like that.
have y'all even seen The Rock since Elimination Chamber?
Well, look it. This the
No.
whole thing. What I'm trying to say is like not. It's more for a lot of fans, and I get it from both sides. But I think only one of these is a story.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
one do you
yeah,
think is the eight?
yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, that's fine. You don't gotta like
Yeah.
every story,
But
But
don't sit there and call me a liar based
yeah,
off opinion. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, people can't handle opinions. Watch out though, because people that was cool with you yesterday are gonna be blocking you today because they don't like your opinion. Instead
yeah,
of
I
instead
got
of
blocked 3 times today.
how many of my closest friends like rival teams that I like, or there's
Yeah.
certain things that we would never agree on, right?
Hmm.
Does that mean that y'all can't be cool with people that you can't agree with? That's weird. Like we don't
That
gotta
is very
agree.
weird.
You know what I'm saying? Like we could have nothing in common, but we both love football, right? And that's where we agree, but we argue about everything else. We brothers. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
That's normal. That's normal shit.
You and
Like
I
I don't
probably don't like everything the same. I probably like
exactly.
different things. You
Yeah,
like different things.
of course. And
But we
and
friends. But we
yeah,
friends.
that's the thing. Who cares what you like different? Not everybody's gonna like the same thing. Like when you go to the store and you're ordering, or you go to a restaurant ordering food, do every one of your friends eat the same thing?
I
No, you
freaking
all like
hope not.
things, right?
Shit.
I mean,
That'd
yeah,
be
I hope
weird.
we don't go
That'd
to
be
a
freaking
restaurant, we
weird.
all order the same thing. That's weird.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I look at that, man. People that when you lose people like that, you don't need them anyways. Because I mean, I'm trying to build with good people and
Mm.
positive vibes. Like,
Hey,
bro,
that's why we're here, bro. That's
yeah,
exactly
like
why we're here.
yeah. So even another thing people get confused, like when we're talking shit online and we're joking and stuff, we're not mad people. We're not
Mhm.
we're not yelling. I'm not trying to fight the computer. I'm not doing um I'm not trolling either because I kind of
No.
just kind of keep say what I really want to say, which is my actual
Yeah.
opinions.
Right.
But I'm not making threats. Like until you go all the way to the left and you start making threats, then I'll play games with you. But even at that point, I'm still laughing. I'm not jumping on a plane to go fly down to see you. Like what did
Dude
we
said, "Come to New Jersey and fight me." Like, Bro, I'm from Texas, dude. I'd kick your ass.
And yeah, and then here's the thing: rent a
I'm 6 foot
boxing ring.
tall and he's 4 feet.
Look, rent a boxing ring. Get a YouTuber that has a big amount of views, and let me know. I'm game. Cause
Yeah.
it's worth
Oh, they
something
brought that up too. They brought up our podcast and well,
yeah,
nobody watches. I was like, dude, we barely started like 2 weeks ago. Come on.
for
Like,
real. Like
yeah. But
that's
nice to know that you're watching.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you study? I'll put it like this: that there's like the last 5 arguments I got in, people brought up the podcast.
Yeah.
All right, it's not
Cool.
it's so not important that you love to bring it up the first chance you get.
Yep.
All right,
That's how you know when when they're the fool. You can tell the fool in the argument. It's
yeah,
when they take that first jab to the jugular as soon as they can.
yeah. It's like I keep it simple. It's like this: when you get in a car, and I ain't talk about face to face because things change, and obviously, like after a certain amount of words and you're face to face. Samoa Joe said it the best. He don't
Yeah.
even like promos of people arguing in the ring. He was like, because when there's two men arguing and no one throws a punch, he was like, I just don't like it. He was like, that's really not me. Like, you
Yeah.
get to action, right?
That's that real shit.
Yeah, so face to face a little bit different. Um, but like when you're talking about online and stuff, bro, it's like really think about this. If I'll give you an example without getting too far. The other day, mid argument, and I'm not arguing. I'm stating opinions. Other people are
Mhm.
arguing, right?
Yeah.
And after I respond, the first thing that the person comes back with is all types of explicit words, and I'm not scared of you. Yes, you are.
The
Yes, you
fact
are.
that you mentioned
That's
that
why
means
you
you
said
are.
that. That's why you said that, because if that screen wasn't in front of you, you are. That's why you
Just
thought that.
keyboard warrior.
They expose themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's like, because no one's gonna say that. Like, I'm not scared of you. Are we 12? I ain't heard something like that since elementary school. And after a little kid yells that out, he fights you. They don't yell that out from behind the computer screen,
No.
you know. But we leave it alone, and for every day that goes by, we need to gain 5 haters because we just started.
Yeah.
By next month, we need 100 haters a day. Feel free to pile up. You know what I'm saying? We'll give you something to hate on. Hate on us. It's fine.
For sure.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Mm,
I might get carried away too much sometimes, but shit, do your worst.
yeah, I told you, it's hard. It's hard to not snap online when there's so much foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Like, you people get attacked for opinions daily. It's like, look it, you like something I don't. I ain't running through posts looking for your
Yeah.
post to tell you I don't like what you like.
I'm not on WWE posts talking shit about that. I could, but I don't because
But
I don't care.
I support WWE posts. That's the
Yeah.
crazy thing. Like, I still defend WWE posts when people
But you
say,
still get the AEW hate just because it's AEW.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you see every time I put a women's list out, right? Who
Yeah.
do I say my favorite women's wrestler is? Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
Like, how could I hate the WWE? It's like, I hate things about it, or I
Yeah.
dislike. I wouldn't necessarily say hate. I dislike a
Right.
lot about it, and AEW would be my preference. Like, I I look forward to Wednesday nights. I can miss a Monday. It's not
Yeah.
really a big deal to me, and that's their best show, you know? So it's not a knock on it. It's just this is my preference. So if your preference is opposite, which I know a bunch of people like that, that's perfectly fine. But
Yeah.
don't act like I don't like I'm just delusional because
Yeah.
I like AEW and you like WWE. Like, I like WWE in the 90s, bro. It's not my thing no more.
Yeah. No, me too. Yeah.
That's it.
Maybe early 2000s, but
Yeah.
and 90s, but yeah,
I
not
like
2010s and up.
WWE a lot. I like
Yeah.
it a lot, certain things,
I
right?
used to be a big fan. Yeah.
Yeah, but 90s, I loved
Yeah.
WWE, you
The
know?
best era. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the difference. Like, I still like it, but I also like 50 other wrestling companies. Like,
Yeah.
right now, I love AEW.
AEW's not the only wrestling company I like. I like
Yeah,
New Japan. I
yeah,
actually decent halfway like TNA.
I,
Even
I,
though they have partnership with WWE, I still
I like
watch
TNA
TNA
though.
from time to time.
Actually, some
Yeah,
of my favorites have you know either started in TNA, came through TNA, and
right. Yeah,
I still like a few things they got going on there right now.
yeah, they
I
got the
don't
Hardys over there.
yeah, I don't watch it like weekly. I think the last episode I watched was I think a lot when Elias came there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a funny feeling the Righteous is gonna end up in TNA with him. Like,
I guess so because of that video.
yeah, I think we read it wrong. I yeah.
I know I did. I thought he was coming to AEW.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought so too, but now I'm kinda thinking that maybe they knew he was going to TNA and they was getting out the contract to go to TNA or that contract ended maybe or something.
Yeah,
Um,
probably soon. I think they've been there for a while.
I haven't seen them lately, and I seen, Dutch liked a few posts that said they wanted to be used more, like, recently.
Mm,
Um,
gotcha.
they kinda just got stuck in a bad situation because there was rumors they was actually at, um, I believe the Performance Center or NXT shows for a couple of weeks, right? And they
Hmm,
were supposedly supposed to end up in the Wyatt family when Bray was coming back, which
really?
I think would have been dope. But then after the fact, they didn't end up signing there. Um, and they popped up in Ring of Honor, but
That's who they
I
reminded you of. Is yeah, Wyatt family.
that's
Yeah,
what I was gonna tell you. They're like the original Wyatt family though, like the cult.
yeah.
Um, that and I just feel like Tony is if probably too late now. Hopefully, I'm
Yeah.
reading it wrong. But I think it's a big missed opportunity. You even could have brought in the other two of them. There's actually two or three more members to their group from when they was in Ring of Honor. I think the girl on Dutch. Um, there's at
Right.
least two or three more people in that group. If you would have brought them in, I think that like cult family is just dope in wrestling. You know,
Yeah.
that's probably. I mean, not nothing to do. Not to last time we're gonna detour,
Hey,
but
you
that
know
white
that speaking on that, Bray Wyatt almost signed to AEW
yeah,
when he took his big break. He
I know
was
that
almost
I know that they talked.
yeah,
See
but
that I mean, you honestly though, I think with the health issues, if he was just safe, I think it
yeah,
looked like probably that was gonna happen anyways. I think it was
right.
better the way he went out because we got to see the Fiend, which I think was actually
I like the Fiend.
a
Yeah,
dope entrance. Like he gives you those vibes when he comes to the ring. Like he almost makes you forget about you need to watch the wrestling match when he comes to the ring. It's like that
right.
Undertaker presence, and
Yeah,
I just think that AEW doesn't lean into that enough. But
right.
one thing though is maybe if he did sign, he could have maybe been the guy to convince Tony to do that. So
Right.
it could have changed things. But
I mean, that's a part of wrestling is some I mean, it's been a part of wrestling for a long time. The
I need
spiritual stuff.
yeah, I need Tony to lean into that a little bit, just a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Give some Hounds of Hell, do something.
Yeah, like, cause that aura, like for example, um, Julia, that aura with her is what makes it believable. Say for example, she could beat a Mercedes. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Or she can beat someone that she doesn't physically look big enough to beat. Um,
Make it
with
seem like she has some outside power, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? Like, and you don't need to get extreme, but at the same time though, don't shy away from it. Like you can kind of do what you want. I mean, you had I want to say that Matt Hardy stuff just gave Tony like a bad taste in his mouth, and he just doesn't want to do it no more.
Oh, it was an empty arena, though. That
Yo,
got screwed.
I know,
Yeah.
but I just feel like he he let them do that. I think, and then really thought about it after, like, yo, never again, like never again with this wizardry happen. But
Well, let's
it,
continue on to AEW Dynamite tonight.
go
Sorry
ahead.
for ranting off, but
Oh, nah,
we had to
listen,
talk about some things, so,
yeah, they
yeah.
listen. Content's content, my brother.
Yep. Timeless Tony Storm on commentary. She comes out right before the Thunder Rosa versus Chris Statlander match.
Yeah.
And she, Tony Storm, crawls her way across the announcer table into her chair instead of just walking around and sitting in the chair. She had to crawl all the way across the
I felt
table.
bad for them men that had to stay professional.
Yeah, uh, Tony Schiavone. Tony.
Yeah, Tony Schiavone. Yo, did you? Yo, I don't even know if she should be getting away with the things that she's saying, but
Oh, she is. They're
I
not
know
bleeping her.
so that network got. You remember how before it used to be like MJF got away with a few things, or you heard like a few swears on TV, and it'd be like,
Yeah.
did they, that network got to just be all in with them? Like, y'all got this. Go ahead, like do what you want. Did you see the message? Someone a nerd sent Max a message saying that AEW is too graphic and like wording and stuff, and Max wrote back. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
They wrote back like it was online like a couple days ago. Max wrote back like, "Hey, AEW is not for everybody. Like it's a different style." Basically, just held AEW down, and then after you tried to bash them in a whole paragraph. But I think that they're letting them swear. I think that they don't mind
Yeah.
um their hardcore spots. So when all these people complain like you don't supposed to happen on TV, I think the network loves that shit. I don't think
Yeah.
they have no problem with it.
The sickos love that shit.
Yeah. And Tony, like the stuff she gets away with saying, did you hear
Yeah.
the quotes?
Oh yeah.
The tag team name, she got crazy.
Yeah. What did she say with the tag team name?
He said, yeah, you and Thunder Rosa was a tag team. She said, yeah,
Thunder Tits,
Thunder team.
right?
She was like,
Yeah.
but if me and Bane was a tag team, we'd be Thunder Thighs. She was like, but if me and you was a tag team, we'd just be called Tits. Yo, she was going crazy,
That's
bro.
hilarious.
Holy shit, man. Like,
Ugh.
yo, she's a complete savage, and that voice she uses, like
Yeah.
any old school movie I put on, that
It
like the
reminds you of that, right?
I could be in
Yep.
the kitchen and I'm like, yo, is Tony on TV? Like it just all sounds like her now. Every one of them. Like
Stuff they're too afraid to make in movies anymore.
yeah,
That's Tony Storm.
yeah, for sure.
Um, so this is Owen Hart first round match.
Yep.
To be honest with you, I mean, Chris Statlander kind of dominated the whole match. Maybe 2 minutes in Thunder Rosa's favor, but that was about it. And
Yeah,
yeah, Chris Statlander won that. That's who I expected to win. Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
I think
uh,
Stat took her share of losses recently. I seen her bouncing back on this. It wasn't. I won't say it was predictable going into the match.
no,
Um,
I just
but
didn't expect. Yeah.
yeah. But it's. I mean, for the amount of time and for what they did, I didn't mind the match. I also don't mind Statlander getting a big win. I mean, Stat's a beast. It's not like you're really taking a short losing there.
Some people are calling Statlander for the whole thing. You got any predictions yet on that, or who do you think?
Um, 1 second.
You want me to go ahead and say mine?
No, hold on. My daughter just texted me. I just make
Oh,
sure it
okay.
wasn't. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't important.
Gotcha.
But nah, I just say this. I don't think Stat wins.
I'm
I,
thinking Hater. I think we do get Hater again at All In.
I see that'd be nice too.
Yeah.
If I had to, I mean, that's who I that's who I'd want to win. Jamie Hayter
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. That's
Me
that's
too.
what I'm pulling for. Um, I think that they kind of could go a bunch of different ways. I just don't see Statlander winning because I I don't see her dethroning Tony right now, and I
Mm-mm.
have a funny feeling this is gonna be a big moment for somebody else at
Yeah.
on.
I don't
So
think Tony's done with Megan Bayne either. I think
yeah,
she's coming back in some way. I don't know. We might see a triple threat, honestly.
yeah, and that's so there's just too many ways that could go there for me to just think that it's gonna be Stat versus Tony at All In. I just don't think so. I think that there's probably 3, 4 different ways that they could go.
Yeah. But
I would have even probably rather seen obviously they seeded it up bad for as with the way they put it, but I would have rather seen Julia win it all than
yeah. That's who I originally was going
Yeah,
for. That's why I was yelling at my TV, not don't tap, don't tap
yeah,
on during Dynasty. I was like, she didn't tap, but I think she just got pinned. But
yeah. She,
anyways, like I was like, oh, I was really thinking Julia was gonna win, but
I was,
I didn't get mad afterwards or
I
nothing.
was
Like,
hoping that we got a Sky Blue running or something to cost Mercedes
yeah,
the match, or Camille, or
see,
just
yeah, I was
something.
thinking Camille too, man. Yeah,
I also have and I don't know how it get here, but I don't know if you've seen that interview when Tony was talking about Camille will be back soon. Did you
yeah,
see the full thing? The
mm,
one wrestler that he mentioned is she could come back and maybe wrestle Megan Bayne.
Camille.
Yeah, so I have a funny feeling they might have
Uh,
to have the battle of the the beast. I mean, so they might be an all-in match.
there's
That's
an
like
inside joke with that.
gladiators, two women gladiators. So I'm not against it.
Yeah,
But I think that they should have, and unless Camille knew going in, you're gonna do this on TV, you're going off, and um, I would like to see them give her something good.
yeah,
It doesn't even matter if Bane leaves the feud winning. Maybe have them go back and forth. Like a 3 matches, and both of them showcase what they could do. Because they're both big athletic women, and they both need to be showcased. I don't want to see just one. Same kind of Statland is in that elk as well. It's
yeah.
kind of like but that's why I don't want her to win and go lose a belt right now. Like
Right. It'd be
I
cool to see maybe all 3 of them go at it. That'd be cool match for All In.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It also would be cool if we got more women factions and got like women warfare, like
Could you imagine them 3 in the same faction? Cool.
bro, I
That'd be the
thought
most
that's my
dominant
mind was
faction
I was
ever.
like, that's not fair. Yeah,
Most most
but
dominant faction ever.
listen, that's like yeah, I don't even what would you call that? It's not even
Uh,
the Twin Towers, the 3 towers?
something with Brickhouse, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shit, for
I don't
real,
know.
right? But that'd
Yeah.
be they take out most dude trios.
Yeah.
That wouldn't look good for the women to
Man,
say,
they'd whoop the Hurt Syndicate, boy.
yeah, who what can you in AEW, can you even put 3 women together that would make that even close to being fair?
I don't think so.
I don't think so neither. You'd have to
Unless they
add
brought back Awesome Kong or something,
yeah,
which I don't
Awesome.
know what the heck happened to
I
her.
mean,
I think she
Awesome
retired,
Kong,
but
Nyla Rose,
Nyla Rose, yeah.
and, I mean, maybe and it's still you're still getting this really isn't close because Kong's
Yeah.
way past her prime.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she retired, honestly. I don't know if she wrestles anymore.
I think she just had her last match probably like a couple of months ago. I seen it.
Yeah.
Um, it might have been like a TNA Battle Royal, like it
Oh, I think it was something to do with
was
TNA.
so
I think I
yeah,
saw that. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, so Chris Statlander wins. She
Yep,
moves to the semifinals.
yep,
Uh, then you got one of my favorite segments of the night, which was the Don Callis segment, and saying, "Hey, we got a couple people injured, but now we're accepting new applications for some new
yeah,
members." So I'm like, "Heck yeah! I wonder who they're gonna add."
yeah.
So,
He's
yeah,
been he's been everybody he's been
yeah.
adding recently has been money.
You can hate Don Callis all you want, but that dude is gold, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
not even just AEW. If you just look at his track record of like what he's done for the industry,
yeah.
um,
He used to
some
work with TNA back in the day.
yeah,
Yeah,
but certain things that he plays out on storyline is true. Like that Kenny Omega versus Jericho
yeah,
in Japan, like he really that's why he's the invisible hand because he's really made moves that he's kind of he's a force. But as far as a personality, Jesus Christ, is he great.
yeah.
It,
Gold.
I just want those house segments again. Just give me the house segments.
Yeah, we never got another one after that. Just give us another one though.
I want to see the fireplace behind them.
Yeah,
The round table. You know what I'm saying?
real mob style. Yeah,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They did it one time, and there's no way they don't know that segment got great reviews. Like, you gotta keep it at 100. If you don't want to waste TV time doing it, YouTube it.
Yeah,
Drop like a 5-minute Don Callis YouTube video once a month with the Don Callis family.
yeah,
I'll
uh,
take it like that.
yeah. At least show it on Collision or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like just we need it. I
which
mean,
this Collision this Saturday is looking pretty stacked as well. We'll see
really.
FTR. So yeah,
Ooh, I want to. I'm here. Remember, I told you I've been begging for them to do a heel turn, so
yeah,
I'm happily here for this.
me too.
And I just want to see the Brood all together one more time, just one time. So if
Yeah,
this can lead to
hopefully
them
that
doing
comes.
just one match with the Brood together, even Gangrel don't gotta wrestle. I just need to see all three of them come out together with that entrance, and it will
Yeah,
make that's all the nostalgia I need right there.
heck yeah. Um, so then we cut to Undisputed Kingdom backstage. They didn't really say much. They're just standing on business, really. It's not really much I could talk about. They didn't really say much. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess it was good to see them, you
yeah,
know. But yeah,
right,
wasn't really much to touch on there.
right. Um, then the Learning Tree segment, man. I got to get your thoughts first on that. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, I liked it. Um, I think that was a segment that really could make, and not saying it was already doing good, but the Bad Apple, Brian Keith, or if he goes to Bounty Hunter again, and Big Bill, this segment could really make them.
Yeah.
I think, depending on what you do from here with them. Um, the second part, it could be kind of like how they wanted to look. And I know Jericho is a wizard when it comes to reinventing himself. So this could be a
That's
million.
what's coming. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
But what he leaned into is making people believe he's done with AEW. Like
Uh,
he's like that was your going away speech.
right.
Um, but the main thing that I got away from it, and I think I told you about this before. For example, he ends that statement, ends what's going on, right? Or and walks off. I like cheering and booing and wrestling. I think it's
Mm,
probably that's what I kind of grew up on. Don't get me wrong. Even that
yeah.
at whatever you had a little bit more raunchy things here and there, right? But
Right.
mainly cheering and booing, right? I don't like that these extreme fans now where it's like you really make wrestlers feel like they need to leave companies. Like
Yeah, I hate that.
I don't think fans realize they're part of the reason why Cody Rhodes walked out the door.
Yeah, that's true. As an AEW fan, that is very true.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like you literally and you're doing it to Jericho. Now I'm not saying that I want to see Jericho wrestle the rest of his life, but what
but
you're doing is
don't
you're
kick them
gonna
out. Yeah,
yeah, you're running him out the house. Like what are you doing? And he's not the only one they do that with. Like um other companies are doing it with other wrestlers. Remember I said Bianca.
mhm,
And she gets booed all the time. She's the good guy in the story. Well, the good the good rest in the story right now, and she's being booed.
yeah.
This
Those
is
type
what,
of fans aren't cool.
but
Like
this is
just
what
the
I
hate.
yeah, but this is what I mean about sometimes AEW fans go a little too far. Other fans too, but we're talking
Yeah,
about AEW. But that's why I want to make sure I'm not just saying it's an AEW thing, but
yeah.
um, that's not acceptable to me.
Mm-mm.
And I get it. You can do it, and you could be mad at me for my opinion. That's perfectly fine. But I don't think that you should really make them feel like they,
Um, the
like I,
hate,
yeah,
the hate on Jericho kind of originated from a online Twitter rumor that ended up being debunked.
yeah, it
So,
was found false. Yeah,
and then people just ran with it, and they're still going with it.
yeah, I
It's
know.
crazy.
And that's, but I just don't like it because here's the thing, right? And this is the part that bothers me. Like what people don't realize when you do that and you alienate wrestlers and make them uncomfortable like that. You got remember when Cody threw the belt and the
Mm.
audience threw that you could have literally
Oh
that
yeah,
came
yeah,
back, had him sign that. He probably would have met
yeah.
you after, you know what I'm saying?
Or you could
Instead,
have given that to a kid or
yeah,
something.
instead
Yeah,
you threw it back there, right? Did you see his face? That
yeah.
wasn't acting. Like
No, he was like
he
really
was like,
like
I'm done.
over it.
He's like,
Yeah,
I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So when you do that, and then this the part that bothers me, right? You run somebody out the door, and when you do that, those other people that are not watching anyways team up with you and make it look even worse because now
Mhm.
the 50 AEW fans didn't like something. A million WWE fans are gonna chime in and help you bash the company that you like that they actually didn't watch,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I see a lot of that all the
Yeah,
time.
and then
Yeah,
it's like, oh, the narrative is that storyline sucks. No, half of these dudes ain't watching AEW. They're just complaining about it, and you're
yeah,
helping them, right? Um,
right.
and then when you run a guy like not stick on, but you run Cody out the door, right? And then all those guys that hate not the AEW fans that ran him out the door, but the ones that love other companies and didn't like him, now look, they
Yeah.
love him.
Starting to see that with the Young Bucks too, though.
This what I'm telling you.
Yeah,
You right, yeah, and they're doing it with. They're not the only
they
ones.
they need to lay off Young Bucks first of all.
This
That's my opinion.
so
But yeah,
Young Bucks came up with a game plan, which the first people that think Matt Jackson was actually the first one to talk to Tony Khan. He's the one to write up the missionary statement. He's the one. That's why Cody kind of got mad when they say he wasn't first, but you wasn't, right?
mm,
So without them, there's no revolution. There's no AEW. There's no, and obviously Cody, Omega, and them had big parts of this on the independent at the time. But Matt struck the deal. Matt's the one that brought it to the table,
yeah.
right? Or Nick, maybe it could be. I'm not sure, but I know it was one of them, right? Um.
There's a lot of
So
truth to what they're actually saying.
yeah. So when like you try to run these guys out the door, you know that when they pop up somewhere else, that's not helping you. It's just not. Look it,
No,
you ran someone out the door, and he's probably the most popular heavyweight champion in the world right now, right?
yeah,
You ran him out. Why? You wanted him to be a heel. He didn't want to. So you
right.
decided you're gonna kick him out the company. We can't do that, man. We got to be better. Like, look, boo
Yeah.
Jericho if you don't like him, but all that trying to run him out
I
the
mean,
door, they might need him behind
these
scenes,
people don't even personally know Jericho. Like
bro.
they
Like,
only can go based off of what other people are saying, and that's all they're doing.
yeah, it's just they're just taking it. They're just taking it a bit too far. I think to what a fan's supposed to be, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what goes on online too. But that's, I mean, the most I'll say about that. I like Chris Jericho. He's one of my all time favorites.
So yeah,
And
back to the segment.
yeah,
Uh, Chris Jericho's upset over his loss, but then Big Bill and Brian Keith go to the ring, and then Jericho starts saying he's more upset with their loss, and then Big Bill cuts him off. And he gives that whole speech of, "If you're about to say what I think you're about to say, I'm gonna leave." And he kinda throws Brian Keith under the bus. If you see Brian Keith during the segment kinda looking back and forth,
yeah,
and, then Jericho takes out his anger on the TV. He says he's not angry, but he's beating up a TV with a baseball bat.
he's a Twitter
And
fan.
yeah, and then that's when he leaves, and yeah, they made it seem like he was going out of the company, but I don't that's not the end game.
Yeah, I don't think so neither. But
Yeah,
the fact that those he would go back to WWE rumors just came out, and
yeah,
now this storyline, Jericho's smart enough to play
to
off.
play it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know how
And
Jericho.
that
I
might
met,
not work out in in the AEW's favor too much though. That's just gonna cause more mayhem online, I think. I mean, I can see why they're doing the story like that. I mean,
Mhm.
but you know, I don't know.
well, I
We'll
think that
see. We'll see how it plays out.
well, I'll put it like this: there's only two things that could happen here, and I'm not even getting to the story. Just saying, genuinely speaking, for Jericho and AEW, right?
Yeah.
Either you keep overexposing him, and fans run him out the door, right? Like they're already doing it.
Mm,
Or and this could happen anyways, right? Or maybe you take him off TV for a while, you reinvent something, maybe you bring him back with somebody they like, and they
yeah.
give him a little bit to miss him, and when
Yeah.
he comes back,
He just
maybe
has going away heat. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but if he leaves for a while and comes back, and the fans do this, the writing's kind of on the wall.
Right.
Like, you ain't gonna want to swim in mud for too long when you know if you walk in another company, they'll cheer you instantly.
True.
Like,
True.
that's kind of what the alternative is. I didn't want to do it, but now since y'all are telling me to get the F out, I'm starting to think about it.
Yeah.
You see what
Shit. I
I'm saying?
mean, that'd be a terrible loss for AEW, I think.
Yeah, because you
Chris
want,
Jericho has done so much for our history already.
bro,
So
you want Jericho, Danielson, guys like that behind scenes, even when they don't want to wrestle.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's
I'd
no reason to let them leave.
I'd prefer Jericho to retire in AEW, to be honest with you. I
Yeah,
think they'd give him the better send off. Not this send off. I hope this isn't the send off, but
yeah,
I think they would give him like a good big one last pay per view last
yeah.
match like they did with Sting. So
Yeah, I think they'll give him a good, even a good run and bring back like a lot of people from his past. Let him go over some nostalgia matches. Give
yeah,
them definitely, and I'm guarantee you, Tony would probably give him a blank paper and tell him, "Tell me
what you want. Yeah,
what's your perfect ending." You know?
yeah, yeah. Tony would give it to him.
Yeah, and Jericho deserves it.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, unless you say, "Give me that heavyweight title," I don't know about that. But as far as your ending, he deserves to pick it how he wants.
Yeah, it does. True that. All right, then we run into the replay of Max Caster Open Challenge at Dynasty, and they show Anthony Bones off again,
Yeah.
all repackaged, and show him beating the heck out of Max. Just kind of one of those throwaway things. I'm glad they put that in tonight's show, so we didn't have nothing after. I'm glad that they brought that in.
They put it towards the end of the night too, so that kind of gives me the expectation that Bowens should be at least like, remember we was talking about mid-level or
Yeah,
upper.
yeah,
Um,
it's got a match against Blake Christian on Collision Saturday, so
yeah. So
yeah.
I think that he instantly jumps into like probably like that TNT title range, probably.
Yeah, or yeah, probably that one because I think the other ones are pretty taken for, booked up.
Yeah, yeah,
So, um, then you got Alicia backstage with the Hurt Syndicate. With Bobby Lashley says we don't need MJF, and that's when Shelton Benjamin says, "I don't know, you got to admit he's pretty funny."
yeah.
And then they leave, and MJF shows up, and he looks at MVP. He's like, "Do you think I'm a female dog?"
Yo,
Yeah,
he just always knows what to say. I don't know
yeah,
why.
it's hilarious. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna join forces here pretty soon, and at least for a little while before Max gets dropped or something. Yeah.
I mean, I have a theory on what they did you hear what MVP said to him at the end of the segment?
Refresh my
Um,
memory.
he said that is business, right? He said, and when you're dealing with business, right? He said, you always gotta basically figure out what the other side wants. He said, and you give it to them, it's how you make a deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So and then he walked off and MJF kind of, did the
I think. Yeah,
like, let me think about it, right? And then you
yeah,
see it caught him off guard. He started thinking, right? Um, I mean, there's obviously a bunch of, you know, ways they could play it, but I think that, the next thing is gonna be him trying to figure out what they want, and it will probably go through a bunch of funny scenarios before we
yeah.
get there. But
Oh yeah.
I have a funny feeling though, what he's gonna bring to them that they want is Cedric Alexander. That's
Okay, that's what you're trying to talk about earlier.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
I
he's
get you.
I think he's gonna eventually be like, "Oh, I know exactly what you want. I got your brother back. Here you go. Say
And
hello to
then that will
Cedric."
get him in. Yeah,
You see
that'd be
what
cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I think eventually, they turn on him, or
yeah.
he brings a group to turn on them,
Right. Yeah.
one or the other. But I
Which
think he gives them Cedric.
I think Tony Schiavone said the word pinnacle today on commentary.
Yeah, I
Did you
like
catch that?
that was a crazy underrated group, man. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah,
You
you're
remember
just missing Sean Spears, but they still got a heel FTR right
they
now,
don't
so
need Sean Spears. They're
no,
alright.
they don't. No.
Where's Wardlow?
Yeah, get us
Like,
Wardlow.
yeah, that's it. But I want to say that was one of my favorite segments of the night, and
Yeah,
it plays off to starting with something, scrolling and continuing it on,
continuing story,
continue because
long-term
remember,
storytelling.
yeah,
AEW
remember
does it.
the attention span nowadays is a peanut. So
Yeah,
you gotta remind them every 10 minutes what just happened, or they're
yeah.
gonna say that you ain't keeping them up to date.
You know how many people said the Young Bucks returning didn't make any sense? And I'm like, the first thing I thought of was like they were shredding documents and all that, and they finally answered that tonight a little bit. Kenny did,
Yep.
but we
Well,
that's long-term storytelling. Come on.
yeah, I wanted to touch on this earlier and I slipped up. So just that what you said about that Kenny promo,
Yeah,
did you catch what he said they were shredding?
like plane trip rides and stuff
Basically
like that.
blowing money,
Yeah.
right? So think about it like this. Just think about it in storyline mode, right? Because remember, this is gonna be a long play, and they look like they've gotten the best shape of their life too.
Oh, dude, Matt Jackson looks
Yeah,
ripped.
they look like they put on weight, all types, right? Um, but um, so obviously you have two sides of it. The EVPs and you have Tony Khan. Let's get back to the actual context, right? So you have the
Mhm.
EVPs that went rogue on AEW,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Then they left, right? And I'm breezing through a little bit, but they shredded all the documents, right? Now Moxley came in roughhouse, straight roadhouse style, right? But he's doing all their stuff, same stuff, just
That they were doing. Yep.
violence with it that they kind of wasn't really getting away with, right? Which leads it to believe that Tony Khan has to lead the other faction.
Oh
That's
yeah.
where the storyline goes. They just haven't got there, and it's probably like gotta bubble up. But if
Mhm.
you wrote a 18-month or 12-month or 14-month storyline, right, and yet say 6, 7, 8 months through, and the bang is at the end, you
Yeah.
can't derail now.
No, you can't just stop the story in
Yeah,
the middle. I wanna
yeah.
see it through. Yeah.
So my thing is this. I think what comes down to it, right? You're seeing new signings and fresh talents. These are for a while now, like Ospreys, from that timeline all the way to now. You could even go back to even say like Jay White signing, right? Um, these are Tony's guys.
Yeah.
This is I mean, I'm going story. I'm saying I think this could be the situation, right? Once it comes out that it's gonna have to be Tony, a mouthpiece for Tony to be like, look it, they ran out the company because they was blowing all types of money. They was, pissing people off backstage, that it, whatever, right? Tony has to have a team to end them, right?
Oh yeah.
But the story, what you're shredding, if you're shredding money being blown, that only can be a story for TK, whose money's being wasted. I
Right.
mean, it wouldn't be wrestlers. I mean, obviously Cody's not there. It's not Omega's money. So you'd
Yeah.
have to be shredding stuff that who would want.
Yeah. I think we
Only
see Tony Khan coming out one show and be like, "This is my team," and then you hear all these entrances and stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I think maybe even like Blood and Guts. Um, Tony has his five
Yeah.
versus their
Maybe.
five. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and we can
Um,
see the return of Jack Perry soon.
yeah,
That's since the Young Bucks are back. So
yeah. Jack. I also think he's gonna be a big part of this story. I'm not 1,000% like I can't figure out exactly where he fits in, but he's gonna be a big part of this story too.
yeah.
You remember the seed Moxley planted with him a long time ago, right?
Do what? Oh
You
yeah.
remember this?
The good kid. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and he was with the Bucks. Think he's looked at the Bucks, didn't say nothing to them. He just said something to Perry. So there's like layers that I know we missed too. Like, so you're gonna just have to wait for them to give you the end for you to realize what you missed.
Yeah. But you're right. People nowadays have the attention span of a goldfish
Yeah,
and forget. So
they can't remember a week ago. So
yeah.
they need you to spend 30 minutes on your show recapping stuff. 30 minutes to recap stuff that you should have watched last week.
Yeah. I usually try to watch it twice whenever
Yeah,
if I ever get the chance to.
yeah,
So,
yeah, I do
um,
too. I just personally, like I said, um, wherever you put your recaps, I'll watch them. They could be on YouTube. They was
yeah,
on Rampage at one point and people was complaining. Like, I
mm,
don't care where you put it. If it's there for me to find it, I'll find it. But
yeah,
as far as the show, I'm following it anyway. So you don't really need to keep up to
yeah.
date and me what I'm
I'm not
watching.
gonna expect some
Yeah.
page on X to remind me that this happened.
Bro, if
Like you sitting there asking me a dumbass question, and you're not being nice about it. You're kind
yeah,
of being a douche about it. I'll say just go look it up.
for real.
Yeah,
But think like this. If you have a 2-hour show and just factor that into like a month, right? 2 hours a week, you got not counting any other shows, just counting one, right?
yeah,
Could you imagine at the end of that month realizing 3.5, 4 of those hours that you had of TV time was spent doing recap packages of things that
oh,
happened weeks before? Like, so it's like, say for example, you had 8 hours in the month. And when you go over the numbers at the end, bro, you spent 3.5 hours recapping people on stuff they could have watched weeks prior. Like they're supposed to be watching.
yeah,
You can't waste premium TV time on that unless a
mm,
fan accepts it. Like nobody you get it. So like I said, 2-hour show. If I give you 3 interviews that take 45 minutes, 30 minutes of recaps, fellas, this is a wrestling show. Where's the wrestling?
yeah. Come on
So
now.
yeah, like so I'm not one of those people that I like the video packages, especially like build up ones. But I don't always feel the need to be recapped what happened last week and the week before when I watched it. Like
Yeah,
my attention span remembers it. Like I know
yeah.
what happened for the past month. I
Shoot,
don't need
doing this post show now is helping me even remember more,
yeah,
because the note writing and stuff
yeah,
it helps me remember. So yes, but I have a memory that's good and bad at the same time.
yeah,
I can remember something that happened on Dynamite like 4 months ago, like
yeah.
that.
And forget
But
this week.
yeah, but something that happened this week that wasn't as important or something, like I would forget about it.
Yeah.
I can be a forgetful person, but
Well no, I think
just
that's
the matters what sticks to me, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier to remember the things you like. Some things is just
Right.
not memorable. That's
Yeah.
the truth of it. Truth to it. You're not gonna remember everything.
WWE. What? Sorry, I coughed.
Ah, mm-mm.
Main event time, bro.
Yes, sir.
Death Riders versus the Ops. You got Samoa Joe and Wheeler Yuta kicking it off. Um, that's the match that they started out having a great technical, like back to back technical wrestling, getting headlocks and all that.
Yep.
Uh, I did a good job of that back and forth. Then Hook gets tagged in, and for the longest time throughout the match, Hook fails to get to Samoa Joe, or there's one moment where Samoa Joe got knocked off the apron, so Hook couldn't reach him in time.
Yeah.
So Hook was having a hard time tagging his partner in,
Yeah.
and
It worked.
he actually never got to tag him in again. I don't think, because what happened in the outside of the ring, Samoa Joe gave Claudio a spine buster to the outside,
Yeah,
like
that
on
was
the floor.
yeah, that
Was
was
dope.
brutal.
Yeah, and then John Moxley comes out, but then Shibata comes out like right after him. So they're not able to get the distraction. So Hook hits the red rum on Willer Yuta, and Willer Yuta passes out,
Yeah.
or he taps. So they pick up the win. The Ops pick up the win, and then right after that, Smojo picks up the mic and basically calls out the Death Riders. So
Yeah.
yeah, you got anything to talk about with that?
I enjoyed the match. I the few things that I would say is I hate the run-ins in the main events every time, you know?
Yes, that's starting to get old.
Yeah, this so that other than that, I like the match. I think they did a good job. I also do believe that, and I know this might not necessarily been the match for that, but Hook needs a just like maybe like two more moves. For like they need to open.
Yeah,
Like I
I
think
agree.
he mastered everything he's done already. I know they probably was trying to keep it safe in the beginning because maybe he was just doing arm drags for a while, like
Yeah.
the throws.
He's got a badass drop kick too.
No, I
He
know, and
does.
that's the thing. Like I feel like he's athletic and he got strength, right? That you got to have two, three more moves you could give this kid, which
Yeah.
will open up his offense. And I just think he needs to sell a little bit better.
Mhm.
But Hook's actually,
He's
um,
young.
yeah,
He just needs training.
yeah. What I
Just a
what
little bit more.
No, but what I was gonna say is like 6 months ago, I didn't know if he was getting better. Like I was a little confused. Like I was watching, like beginning to thing and just looked like
Yeah.
maybe he was doing more, but he wasn't getting better. But
Last year, they almost pulled the plug with him, like, in a good way, like, they almost gave him a freaking title run,
yeah,
it
I
seemed
know.
like. That
And
was a good match.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know, and but I still felt like his development was kind of like stuck in standstill, right? But now when I look at him, like the past 6 months, I'm seeing his development. I don't know if he's actually working with Samoa Joe, and Shibata maybe behind scenes because they look like they have like good natural chemistry. It
Yeah,
doesn't look
maybe they
forced.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the past like half a year now, Hook just seems like he's made way more strides than he did in like the first 3 years, um, maybe even longer than that. So I did enjoy the match. I just didn't like the run-ins. We can go without the run-ins once in a while.
Yeah, that would yeah, because that kinda I get why people might be upset at, like, the past couple main events of the pay-per-views,
Yeah.
especially,
Yep.
but, I mean, I personally think the Young Bucks having the coming out after the dark screen, it was such a big surprise. Nobody knew that they were there until, like, right before they went out.
Yeah.
So
Nobody. And the thing too, you remember what I was saying about that story? And I picked Swerve because I thought that maybe the fans put too much pressure, funny big pressure, right?
yeah,
To put the belt on him, and maybe they gave in. That's kind of like what I was thinking. Like
yeah.
they just kind of demanded him to have the belt, and he's gonna get the belt for a little bit of time, right?
The
Um,
one thing that comes to fantasy booking, like, you can fantasy book all you want, it's fun to do, just don't
yeah,
get upset when it doesn't go your way.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Um, and find enjoyment even if it doesn't go your
yeah,
way. Like you're watching it to enjoy it. Like you don't need the people you want to win every match. It's
yeah.
not a real fight,
Of
you
course,
know.
I wanted Swerve to win because I
Yeah,
changed my mind. Actually, last week, I
yeah.
posted something that said Swerve ain't getting the
Oh, I
title,
know. I
but
remember.
I changed my mind. I
Yeah, I know.
changed my mind.
Yeah, because you
Yeah,
seen you seen the uproar with
yeah,
you seen my post. I said, "Yo, companies don't got to change their storylines because you said so."
yeah,
But honestly, sometimes they get so demanding. I think some of these wrestling companies do change their storylines, and
yeah,
I don't
right.
think
I think
that
that would I think that messes up the product overall. You gotta let them tell their stories sometimes.
getting in the habit of ripping up storylines because
Yeah,
someone's angry will never work out for you in the end.
yeah.
You gotta stay your course. Um, and I would just say that I thought I thought Swerve would win, but let's go back to what we were saying like maybe like 3 weeks ago. Might even been longer than that. Um, why I said I don't think Moxley's gonna lose because I have too much faith in Tony and Moxley and them to think
To
this story
continue the
don't have an
story.
ending. Right? I
Yeah.
was like, they gotta have an ending. And then it got to a point where I just wasn't sure for that. And I started questioning myself, right?
I think just because so many people started talking about Swerve winning. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
but this is it. That we was right. That
yeah.
there's always gonna be an ending. They haven't got there yet, and if you make them cut short, we might be the ones that lose. Like I want to see the story end. Like
Right.
one other thing I want to say too, right? And this is one of the things I want to respond to earlier, but someone bombed me and then blocked me. Right?
We were talking about that earlier, yeah.
Yeah. Um, they they basically was bringing up all the bad points in the Moxley run and
Yeah,
Tony Khan being the worst book. Hey, yo, if you read this, it's like, bro, I said like 3 words not nothing serious on a post. Someone jumped on my post, hit me with the paragraph, going crazy, right, and then blocked me.
Yeah, so you couldn't respond. Yeah.
Yeah, but all right, way too many run-ins, right, by the people around him. Not clean finishes,
Yep.
right? Holding the belt too long. You listening?
Mhm.
What does this sound like?
Just
It
whining, crying.
sounds like the same story Roman Reigns was doing for like 5 years, and everybody
Yeah.
loved it.
Were these people not around for the Nexus or NWO?
I just
NWO went for like 3 years.
no, but I'm just giving you like this, right? When
Yeah,
Roman had the belt, and I'm a big Roman fan, right? But when he had the belt,
it's
every
repetitive.
match Solo or the Bloodline interfered.
Yeah,
Everyone. And then the same thing when Cody lost the first match. They went batshit, right? But
they
now
don't have that same energy.
nobody remembers it now.
Yeah, they don't have that same energy anymore.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like Roman's run was super long and it was legendary. I'm not taking that away from him. But
Right.
you can't tell me that every match he had didn't have interference too and you didn't get sick of him holding the title. But at the end of it, you like the story. That's why sometimes you just gotta let it go. You just find what you like, dislike certain parts, and at the end of it, you can make your judgment. You
Yeah.
can't decide if a movie's good 20, 30 minutes into it when it's an hour and a half long. You just can't.
If I start a movie, I gotta finish it, and I
Same.
would want to finish it, unless it's just freaking awful. But
Yeah, that's
I
yeah,
haven't seen a movie like that in a long time where I
yeah.
just quit it.
Well,
So
I think I came across one or two in the past 10 years where it's like, yeah, I gotta change this.
yeah,
Not many that are that bad.
no, it's watchable and it's entertaining to me. So I mean, and you talk about the interference, yeah, like Roman, all major like bad guy stables interfered
And that's all it
or
is.
cheated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all it is. Like there's some people that and that what I meant. I didn't wasn't knocking Roman. What I mean is that's like something heels do. Like
yeah.
um you have your guys come out and cheat so you can hold the belt. When is this? Is this new to people? Like
No, now the nitpick is that the title's in a briefcase.
it might not even
That's I
be
mean, I can see part of why, but, like, is that really a big reason to hate the
well
storyline?
it here's the thing. There's ways you can go with this, right? What if they don't have the belt?
Yeah,
What
I
if
don't know.
that's the problem? You know what I'm saying? Just say figuratively speaking, if somebody repossessed the belt and the belt's just been put up in the Khan's house, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because the Death Riders are running rough shot, and now Khan's gonna come back with his team, and he actually has the belt. Like, not saying
mm,
that happened, but my point is, they
yeah,
could
let
do,
it play out.
yeah, they
Yeah.
could do. Just let it play out. I don't even think that briefcase they had the other day was big enough to have the AEW title in it. To tell
No,
you the truth.
but the briefcase tonight, I don't know if you saw it, but it looked thicker, like, it looked like something was actually in it.
Oh, so
I
they
don't
changed it.
I think they did. Yeah,
Yeah, because you noticed that briefcase for the past few weeks doesn't
yeah.
even look like it was big enough to
No,
hold the title.
it's, like, real it's been, like, real slim, but
Yeah,
this time it looked full, like something was in it, so
yeah. Maybe they just didn't want Marina have to lug around the heavy belt every time she came to the ring, so they gave her a smaller
maybe.
one.
Yeah.
But
They
yeah,
might be having some paperwork in there now, or I don't know, some money.
yeah,
Shit.
that's what we gotta. And these are the things when you have questions, it means the story is doing what it's supposed to do.
Right.
Right now, I have a million questions. Like
Hmm.
I went from no interest in this story whatsoever, not thinking it was bad, but just kind of like I'm on a boat just going across the ocean. We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm intrigued. I want to know what happened. Like I want to know why if the Young Bucks are working with them, why they let them mash Cutler. But then again, I noticed in that video, and we noticed at that time, they he didn't hit Cutler with the hammer. He hit the tire, and it was so blatantly obvious, right? And I was
Mhm.
like, why did they do that like that? Like
Oh, yeah.
see,
They wanted to trick us, yeah.
there you go, there you
Yep.
go. That's so when you look at it, it's like, cause Claudio's a veteran, right? you could use a fake hammer and smash his hand,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Instead, you literally go watch it. You see he blatantly missed and everybody clowned it. But now I'm thinking, yeah, of course he missed.
They did
He
that on
didn't want to
purpose.
hit him,
Yeah.
So there's like so many layers and little things that we need to find out now.
Yeah.
I think this story has a chance to knock something out the park. And remember, that's all we was asking for.
Yeah. The story right now has multiple layers that we still need answers to.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
need to
And that's
go
a
through it.
story. That's a good story.
Yeah.
It's better than the fans booed me 4 years ago. In my opinion, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Because also that I turned because the fans booed me has been recycled so many times in wrestling.
Yeah.
It's just not a good story no more.
Yeah.
Mm.
You
And I
guys turned on me, so I turned on you.
it's
Like, we
a
haven't heard that a million
like
times.
like
Yeah.
every big baby face that turns heel, that's the same thing they say.
Yeah.
You booed me in Canada. Remember that time in New York? Like it's like, bro, come on, man.
There's better stories out there. Come
Yeah.
on.
I'll just lay off of that. I'm I'm watching it. I'm in tune because it's John Cena, right? But
Yeah.
there's not really a story to follow. This you
At
don't.
least you're an honest fan.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say the story that I see is John Cena getting his last title run. It's not
Yeah.
really about him being a
You know what?
heel.
As an ex-watcher, and I was a big John Cena guy
Yeah,
back then, watching it as a kid growing up, I hope he does get another title run.
me too. I want him
Yeah.
to break the record. That's what I'm watching for. But I think that's the story, and it's kind of built in itself. So they didn't actually make a story, and him turning heel isn't actually the story. It's just like a part of his end story, but it's not really a story. Like they didn't
Right.
really have to do too much for this, and it's really lazy booking because you could have did something fire with Cena. Like, you know what I'm saying? If he was gonna
Yeah.
turn heel.
Could have been some kind of story.
Yeah. I mean, if I was gonna have Cena go heel, I would have had him first take out The Rock. I don't
Yeah.
care if you think you're the final boss. Let me just get that. And then I would have came for Cody or something. Like you should have had him just like, you know,
I
have
think
like
I think that he should have dressed in all black too. I think he should have went full Hogan, and that I think it would have made his turn so much better
yeah, I
if
mean,
he had come out in like all black and just different than what he looks as a face. Because
you
right
know,
now he just looks the same.
yeah, and you know what's funny you say that? And I mean, hopefully he's listening because I know he follow me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing is this, right? Cena, his presence is crazy, right? But right now you're right. When you look at him, it doesn't look much different. I don't believe you're a heel. Like
Yeah.
that's like you
He's
look like a
wearing the
good guy
same.
pretending to be a heel.
Exactly. He's wearing the same type of clothes and
Yeah.
everything.
I think that if he changed the gear up a little bit, um, then you're right. It'd probably be a little bit more believable.
Right.
He just right now, it just looks like he's the same guy. It feels like next week he could come on, but like I tricked you. I love you guys. You know what I mean, like it just doesn't seem authentic.
Do we have any comments
We
from
got Mike jumped in. Good old Mikey G asked if Tekla is joining AEW. It's a real good question. I honestly, personally, would have no idea, but I hope that.
yeah. It was mentioned earlier in the group chat, I think, but nobody honestly knows. I don't think she signed or anything, but
I know she's
should
working.
be a should be
She's
great talent though
for sure.
if AEW picked her up.
Yeah, I like out of the two that I like, and I don't kind of sucks when they take people from companies they work with, but if people's gonna leave and get money elsewhere, it's better to go with your business partner than to go elsewhere.
Yeah,
But Tekla and I like Catalina too from CMLL.
yeah, Catalina's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like both of them. Those would be probably two of my top picks that I think AEW should probably go out and try to get if they can.
Yeah, yeah. There's not many big free agents right now.
I mean,
They either got scooped up by WWE or AEW.
yeah, I think
Which
there'll probably be a lot more hitting the market soon. I know that Indy Hartwell I think is still out there. I think she's gonna end up in that group with Monet. And
oh yeah,
I think
yeah,
that probably gonna be because she's been training with her a lot. I think it's
Yeah,
gonna probably be the Renegade sisters.
yeah, and they're
India.
gonna wait until they get to that point of the story until
Yeah,
they. Yeah.
yeah,
So who knows? Indy might already be signed, but
yeah,
yeah, of
yeah,
course
'cause
they're allowed to work indie dates.
yeah, and
So
you notice that she's been every time they're putting like training photos, she's like with the girls training.
yeah, yeah,
Hey,
I've seen that.
ladies.
Yeah.
So I think she might not. Yeah, she's probably already over there. The only other thing Travis said, "Hey fellas, great dynamite, absolutely."
Yeah.
Sorry for seeing the comments late. We gotta start opening the comments in the beginning because I'd be forgetting all about that. I ain't
Oh,
gonna
do
lie.
you? Is that why?
I honestly, I just we get in, we start talking, and it doesn't alert me, so I have to
Oh,
like
okay.
go open it. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
why.
we definitely need to do that, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why, because if we're more active in the beginning and ask more questions, I feel like because we wait too long to see them, sometimes they're not even in there no more. We'll get
Yeah.
better.
We'll
Sorry,
get better at that.
we'll get
Yeah.
better with all that.
Um,
Um,
what was your match of the night?
that's a good question. I mean, the obvious pick I mean, the obvious pick would be the 400K match, but I don't want to do that
Oh,
and
it's that obvious, huh?
take the
'Cause
obvious
that's
pick.
my favorite match of the night.
This is why I'm going somewhere else.
Alright.
I'm gonna
That
piss
was my favorite
I'm gonna piss
400K
you off.
match.
Mox and
Oh,
Shibata is my favorite match.
okay.
Told you, I'm being biased though, cause Shibata is like my GOAT, a New
Oh,
Japan.
okay.
So
Yeah.
anytime I can see him on screen, I
So
didn't like that. Yeah,
that match was pretty short.
yo,
Yeah.
listen, I'm just like I said, I'm being completely biased, and I don't wanna have the same pick as you, and I
Yeah.
know that that 4-on-4 was the match of the night, so
Oh, it definitely was.
I just go with Shibata and Mox.
I mean, I was thinking about picking the main event, but then I was like, "Nah, it's nowhere near, I don't think."
Yeah, nah, that
But tonight's Dynamite, I'll give it a rating 10 out of 10. This
yeah,
was an awesome episode.
it
It had
was.
me on the edge of my seat the whole time. Had me hooked. I didn't even use the bathroom during the show.
The
I didn't go till after the show ended.
Yeah, I didn't need that. My until the last like 15 minutes. I told you, I think my
The internet,
Xfinity restarted, and
uh,
I don't know what's going on. I look, all the lights is off on my modem. I'm like, come on, bro.
damn.
Yeah, but yeah, I would say I give it a 9, just because I didn't get to fully see the last match. I got to go back and
Fair
watch
enough.
that one.
Yeah.
And it also remember it cut off a little bit of the Statlander versus Thunder match on me, so I need to
Mm.
definitely run back 2 of those. It could definitely boost it up, because I just didn't get to see them in full. But all in out, I would still say it's a 9. I wanna is keep pushing, keep bringing up how their fluidity is getting better and their show to show.
Very consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think anybody can say Dynamite and Collision don't roll together no more. Like, I
Oh,
think
they
one
used to, but
yeah, it used to
or it
be
used to not. Yeah.
before it'd be Wednesday to Wednesday rolls together, right?
Yeah.
And Saturday just kinda looks like you threw dots with some good wrestlers out there.
Mhm.
Now with, the promos they've been doing, getting way better.
Yeah.
I think they're also putting the right combinations of people together and realizing lean on your star power. You have to. Um, the from beginning to end segments, I love how that's rolling on. I just want to say I hope that they keep this up because I know that when football season comes back, I know there's probably a lot more responsibilities that come in Tony's way. But
Yeah.
I know that they did bring in a couple backstage signings recently, and I
Yeah.
just hope that he has the right people delegating things for him, that kind of see his vision, and I just hope it stays consistent. That's really
Correct.
all I would hope from it.
Yeah. Same.
What what do you
Uh,
what do you think about how this show's been rolling together?
I think it's been nonstop, like great since the very beginning of this year.
Yeah,
Since 1st of January when they first got on Max. Like,
Think since Tony put that, or they put that quote out that Tony say he's back in the weeds, like doing
even
more.
before that, I thought they were doing pretty good.
I think they
Now,
were too, but
last year it was kinda up and down. Last year, they did go up and down a lot, but this year, they've been very consistent.
I think
Um,
you, you know what I think one of the problems was with those, why it wasn't looking consistent before. It just seemed like they didn't have, like, for example, if you have Kenny Omega, he should be fighting the biggest names in whatever, division or
yeah,
level you have him at, right? Same thing with above or below,
a
unless
lot of
it's
those
like,
guys were injured throughout last year and
yeah,
didn't
no,
return till this
yeah,
year.
like that's, yeah. I don't mean like they should have been there last year. I know they wasn't there last year, but what I
Yeah,
mean is now it just seems like he's not shying away from doing the big matchups. Like
right.
before, it just seemed like when the Owen comes, or when a tournament comes, you automatically know the weak spot or the pin guy, or you kind of just could see.
Yeah, these tournaments look a little bit more even.
Yeah, like
Uh, I saw a couple people calling Brody King like a jobber. I'm like, that's so far from the truth.
that's not.
He's won like he's probably 50% on wins and losses right
How about
now.
this? I'll give
Yeah,
you a heads up. He beat Darby Allen clean. How many people in AEW could say that?
not a lot.
And he did it in AEW. We're not talking about prior. Beat him clean, and like it was like a quick match, like 2 minutes too.
Hmm.
Annihilated him.
Hey,
So he annihilated the future heavyweight champion. He's a jobber. I don't know. It's just I think he's one of those guys that really support the cause too. He'll eventually get something nice. You know?
yeah, I think so too.
But he's not a jobber.
It's hard for y'all there, bro. Shit. Just getting tired.
Oh,
You got
yeah.
anything else to add on for tonight before we head out?
Nah, I just want to let people know we still are getting out a dynasty recap. We're just, with all the backlash and shit going on, we just avoid the turmoil. We're gonna drop it later this week at some point and give
Yeah,
you our personal opinions.
and they're gonna be
Don't shoot us
honest.
for our opinions. That's it.
Right.
You know. But
They heard most of them on tonight. Like
yeah,
I didn't. Just don't cry about stuff.
yeah, it
Like if it
doesn't.
doesn't go your way,
People just learn how to debate. No, learn how to
and
have
don't
a.
call me a liar for my opinion.
Yeah,
So
just people just need to learn how to debate without taking it out of like all the. Don't be Stephen A. Smith. I
yeah,
mean,
for real.
stay in the lines. Just stay in the lines. Don't go out the lines. Because when you go out the lines, it makes it hard for people to conversate. And when you jump on a post, instantly certain words are trigger words. So there's certain words when you say it off rip, there's no more debate. Nothing's peaceful.
Yeah,
Just keep
we
it.
can't even
Keep
have
it.
a peaceful conversation no more.
You can't. I try to tell people all the time, like I respect your opinion, but I completely disagree. I,
Some of
but
them start off with name calling, like right off the bat, bro.
yep.
So
And then
of course, I'm gonna name call you back, and
that's
then
yeah,
yeah,
that's the thing. When someone jumps in and says, "Yeah, this," of course. Like, wait, hold on. Maybe you threaten me online. What do you think? Like,
keep
come
that
on.
same energy in person, big dog.
Yeah, they not
Come
gonna
on.
trust me on that. I know that for sure. Especially not the ones that are ranting and raving online. It's silly.
Yeah,
Like, bro, let's
4 foot nothing cage fighter.
Lord of mercy. That's the
I'm
dirty streets
200
of Vegas.
pounds, bro. I got you. I
Said,
promise you.
said, look, that MMA training ain't enough, my brother. It's not.
No.
It's just not enough. No, you gonna need more. I
Uh,
mean,
I got MMA, boxing, combat from family members who've been in the military. I know all sorts of crap.
hey, listen, trust me. These people out here is crazy. Don't let them get to you. We jumping on a roller coaster to go to the top.
Yeah,
They can stay at the bottom if they like.
yeah. We got to
Or,
keep
or
this
we got
shit down.
seats back there. They could jump in. If we could go to the top, feel free to come with us. That's
Yeah.
it.
I had 3 people block me today or unfollow, block and unfollow, and then but I gained 12 more. So
Yeah, it don't
so
matter.
it's all right. Yeah.
I meant like I think the other day. I don't know what I said. Oh, I think I sided with Swerve, or
Yeah.
I reshared the
With the
Swerve.
Booker T stuff?
Yeah, it's like, bro,
Yeah.
and we talked about this. Like, I'm not gonna jump and disrespect Book and all that. I shared it because it's what's going on in wrestling. Like,
Mhm.
they're the ones beefing. I get to pick a side. They both stated their opinions. I'm not fighting for either one of these guys. I just
Mm.
stated that you don't keep your mouth shut on certain situations. So I think Swerve is right.
Oh, yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But I did reshare when he said that, and that's not for me to disrespect Bookers because that's the content that's out there. I'm sharing it, right? And I lost 40 followers.
Damn.
40. Yo,
Dang.
instantly. Yo, instantly. The next day I got 60 more. I
Yeah.
went 60, I went up 60, but I lost 40. I was like, yo, what is that? A bot or something? But then I noticed like five of the people that commented instantly unfollowed me. It's like, bro,
Mm.
you calm down. You know what I mean? Even if I didn't like WWE.
Oh, I don't like your opinion. I'm gonna unfollow you.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's honest, but, like,
well, it's
one little
also
thing, like, it just takes one
time.
thing, though, for some of these people to be like, "Oh, I'm out."
Look, you know how many football fans I talk shit back and forth with daily, right?
Oh, yeah.
We follow
I'm a
each other.
Cowboys fan, bro. I
Like,
hear the shit all the time.
yeah, so look, I'm talking about accounts that we follow each other, and
Yeah.
they'll share 49 and stuff. I'll talk shit, they'll
Mhm.
talk shit. But at the end of the day, it's like it's all if it's a post that's not about football, we good.
Yeah.
Just we ain't agreeing on that. That's that's all these people gotta learn how to do, man. Just debate
Yeah.
with a little bit more respect. And if you're gonna make threats, just have the boxing ring and gloves and be ready to go live on YouTube so we can make some money. Like win, lose, or draw. That's it. But I'm ready to sign out.
Yeah, me too,
My
bro.
ass is
Getting
tired.
tired.
Shout out to today. We honestly only got up to 50 people, but shout out to all 50 people that watched. I know a
Yes,
lot of
thank
you.
you.
Yep, I know a lot of you people are watching on Twitter and Restream. Please try to get over to the YouTube link when you guys can, not necessarily for this one, but just in the future. So you can watch it on the YouTube. Also subscribe, shoot a thumbs up if you haven't already.
Yes, please
And
do.
yep, and make sure you go follow at Took Timbo on all social media platforms. Same thing with at MobMiz508. And you want to say some last words before we sign out, brother?
Yeah. Like we're open to reading the comments, man. Please jump on and talk about some wrestling with us so we can read your comments and we can talk about it, you know.
Yeah,
We're only getting a couple per video and honestly, man, I'd love more.
yeah,
I would appreciate if y'all went in there in the comments and just said something. Say anything.
yeah, for real, throw it
Yeah.
up. Cause right now it's still 30 something people still in there right now.
Yeah.
Any y'all got any comments before we sign off? We'll definitely answer them.
All right. We'll wait here a couple minutes. If we ain't get nothing,
We can wait
yeah.
a couple of minutes for sure. But yeah, we need to with things like that, we need to get like we need to do some spaces and stuff as well. Like we need to get some
Yeah.
spaces going, bro. Like I noticed that a lot of those spaces got there's a lot like there's a lot of action and a lot of people talking. And then another thing too that people don't be scared. If any of y'all I'm not sure we gotta put together a game plan on it, but we want to do a show where guests can call up and join in with their opinions, stuff like that. So if anybody in the group chat or just anyone in general ever wants to jump on the show for a quick segment,
Open
make sure,
discussion. Yeah.
yeah, make sure you let us know about that as well, and we'll keep you updated on the days we're gonna do it, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I think we're ready to sign out, Brody.
Yep. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
See y'all collision.
Absolutely. Have a blessed night. All right, Brody.